Everyone mute themselves.
Sorry. Good morning.
Looks like a very nice church.
Good morning, everyone here in the building and in Tarpon Springs Unitarian Universalist Church, and those of you joining us at home. If those of you at home would please mute your microphones so the service can begin.
How do I do that, Betsy?
You have them well trained. They're really quick. My prelude this morning, the whole service is about waiting and patience. And so I decided to play this next song that was written by Merv Griffin. Anybody know what it is? The Jeopardy theme. Before Merv Griffin was, a mogul, inventing Wheel of Fortune game and the Jeopardy game, he was a fantastic musician. And he wrote this song actually as a lullaby to get his 5-year-old son to go to sleep. And so that's what it started out as. When he published it, it was called Think. And then it was incorporated into the Jeopardy game in that final segment where they're writing their final answer. And in 2009, Merv Griffin won Game Show Theme of the Year, after it had been on for 30 years before that. So here is the Jeopardy theme, and you can just wait for me to finish.
Thank you, Bonnie. Good morning and welcome, everyone. It's so good to see so many of you here today. Great. Welcome, dear friends. Welcome to our spiritual home, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tarpon Springs. Our church is located here in the heart of the walkable Tarpon Springs Historic District and is known as the home of the Innes paintings. My name is Barbara Rosen, and I serve on our Board of Trustees, and I'm serving as your worship associate today. We are a church of many welcomes, and we offer a warm welcome to all of you who have joined us. If you're here in the building, we encourage you to meet your friends on Zoom in the forum room at the conclusion of the service. This is a liberal community for all ages, promoting spiritual growth, social justice, and the arts. And as such, ours is an active church, and everyone is invited to participate in any of our activities, whether you are a member or not. To learn more about events, our church calendar is on our website, uutarpon.org, or you can discuss activities with church members or our membership chair, who will contact you if we have your information. Although our children are not with us during the service, and do I see Alex back there? Okay, but Alex is here today. We do have faith formation programming available with our gifted leader, Jami Cruz. Children gather for their time together with her and a member of the congregation and meet just outside the social hall. If you'd like more information about our programming, please contact Reverend Kristina or see Jami after the service. We're happy today to have our new member recognition ceremony after the story. For those present with us in the building, we have connection cards available in the pews near the hymnals. If you fill one out and put it in the offering plate or give it to one of our greeters, we'll be able to keep in touch with you. We're delighted to have Reverend Kristina Spaude leading our service today. And music is provided by our music director, Bonnie Whitehurst. Bonnie will be singing throughout the service, and you're welcome to sing along wearing masks to the songs and hymns. Maybe we begin our service today with our chalice lighting. We light our chalice with these words from Deborah Burrell. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and peace.
Waiting in silence, waiting in hope. We are the people who long for new light, guiding us forward, giving us hope, working for love and for peace in this world.
Our story today is Waiting is Not Easy by Mo Williams. Gerald, says Piggy as she cartwheels over to him. I have a surprise for you. Yay! What is it? Asks Gerald. The surprise is a surprise, says Piggy. Oh, replies Gerald. Is it big? He asks. Yes, exclaims Piggy. Is it pretty? Asks Gerald. Yes, says Piggy excitedly. Can we share it? Yes. I cannot wait, shouts Gerald. You will have to, says Piggy. Wait? What? Why? Asks Gerald. The surprise is not here yet, explains Piggy. So I will have to wait for it? Asks Gerald. Yes, says Piggy. Groan, replies Gerald. Oh, well, if I have to wait, I will wait, he adds. I am waiting, he notes. Waiting is not easy, Gerald observes. Piggy, I want to see your surprise now, he exclaims. I'm sorry, Gerald, but we must wait, she adds as she sits down. Gerald lets out another groan that knocks Piggy over. Piggy lets out a small oof. Crossing his arms, Gerald says, I am done waiting. I do not think your surprise is worth waiting for. I will not wait anymore. As he begins to walk away, Piggy sits quietly, her eyes closed. Gerald walks back to her. Okay, I will wait some more, he says sadly. It will be worth it, Piggy replies. Gerald responds with another groan that knocks Piggy over again. She lets out a small eek. Piggy, exclaims Gerald, we have waited too long. It is getting darker. It is getting darker, he repeats as he looks around. Soon we will not be able to see each other, he says. Soon we will not be able to see anything. We have wasted the whole day, he cries. Well, stammers Piggy. We have waited and waited and waited and waited. And for what? For that, replies Piggy. And they both look up at the stars twinkling brightly in the sky. This was worth the wait, says Gerald, in awe. I know, smiles Piggy. Tomorrow morning, I want to show you the sunrise, says Gerald. I cannot wait, replies Piggy.
Last year, I worked in the school media center, and Mo Willems' books were always all checked out. This is a song called Herbert the Snail. A snail called Herbert who was so very slow. He caused a lot of traffic jams wherever he would go. He crashed through every spider web. With crickets he'd collide. Till one day Herbert's father took his speeding son aside. Have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember, you know it to be true. Yes, think of all the times when others had to wait for you. When Herbert was much younger, he often got in trouble. Forgetting that he was a snail, he did things on the double. Ants were always getting mad, and beetles, they would fume. But Herb would always poke along and sing this little tune. Have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember, you know it to be true. Yes, think of all the times when others have to wait for you. As you can well imagine, there's a moral to this tale. Some of you may find yourselves behind a creeping snail. So if you get impatient and you're easily disturbed, this little song and take a tip from Herb. Be patient, have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember, you know it to be true. Yes, think of all the times when others have to wait for you.
One thing we don't have to wait for anymore is formally welcoming and recognizing our new members. Most have joined in the last 16 months, and some of you have hopefully gotten to know some in this time. One who officially joined us just weeks before the pandemic began is Barbara Mellon, who had been a friend of the congregation for some time before joining. It is truly a great joy to welcome all of you today, to recognize that you are a part of this congregation. It is especially true with the pandemic, where not everyone knows everyone else anymore, with the various ways we have been making connections with each other during this time. It is good to take a moment and say, welcome. It is good to have a moment where you are affirmed in your membership and where the congregation can see you, so that you may all know that you belong to each other. So I will call each of you up to the front, where I will offer you a rose, often seen as a symbol of love. A beloved misattributed quote goes, "We need not think alike to love alike." And it is in that spirit that we ask you to join us. To quote the Unitarian minister, the Reverend James Vila Blake, who wrote these words in 1894, "Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another." With the rose, we will be offering a copy of the most recent edition of the Unitarian Universalist Pocket Guide, which offers reflections from a number of folks from our faith, some of whom I am grateful to call friend, and all of them colleagues and siblings in faith. As I call your name, please come up to the front and receive our gifts and our gratitude. And if you would please stay and form a line across the front, and we will participate in a ceremony. Hopefully everyone has this as well. We will read some words to each other while you are standing up here. So first, Barbara Mellon.
Alex, we got two.
Nope. Susan Fogel. Victoria Reed. Betty Clark and Dallas Riggin. Alexander Murati. Robert Palme. Susan Gibbs. Anna Osborne, and Stephen Wilson. And lastly, for me, also, Judy Pickett, who has been serving as our membership chair since she joined and has been doing that since this summer. If you would participate now in reading the words, I kept them as short as possible for everyone other than me. It is a joy to welcome each of you as a member into our community. Becoming a member of this congregation is an important act, but it is only one part of your spiritual journey. We encourage you to grow your religious life and explore and share your unique gifts. Will you journey together with us, sharing the joys and the responsibilities of membership and covenant with us? If you agree, please say yes. Yes. Members of the congregation, will you reach out to these people in friendship, including them in your activities and fellowship? Will you participate with them in their spiritual and religious journeys and invite them on yours? Will you be open to their unique gifts and perspectives? Will you join with them in covenant, extending the faith of this congregation? Yes. Ours is a shared ministry to help each other find meaning in life and to build a just and compassionate life and world, working to fulfill the vision and mission of this congregation. Welcome. You may now be seated. Thank you.
Following the new member recognition ceremony is a hymn in the Gray Book, number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope, and hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Now is the time in the service where we take our offering for the work and welfare of this church. Ours is a free faith which must sustain itself financially. Please go to our website, uutarpon.org, and click on the donate button, or you may mail your offering to the church at 57 Reed Street, Tarpon Springs, Florida, 34689. This month, Social Justice Council is asking for donations for the laundry project. Donations to project for December and January will be collected. To support this work, please go to the website uutarpon.org and click the donate button, select social justice, give the plate, and indicate laundry project. Or you may mail your offering again to 57 Reed Street. Just a note, laundry project in the memo of your check. The offering will now be given and received.
Me and my friends were all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, there's no way we ever could. And now we see everything's going wrong with this world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting on the world to change. We keep waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance, so we keep waiting on the world to change. Now, if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would have never missed a Christmas, no more ribbons on the door. And when you trust your television, what you get is what you got. 'Cause when they own the information, oh, they can bend it all they want. So we keep waiting on the world to change. We keep waiting on the world to change. One day the next generation is gonna rule this population, so we keep waiting on the world to change. Now it's not that we don't care, we just know that the fight's not fair, so we keep waiting on the world to change. We keep waiting on the world to change, waiting on the world to change, waiting on the world to change.
Our reading today is called In Between by Kate Walker. In between, liminal, that space where we meet, between moments, events, results, action, no action. To stand on the threshold, waiting for something to end and something new to arrive, a pause in the rumble of time. Awareness claims us alert, a shadow of something different. In between invitation and acceptance, in between symptom and diagnosis, in between send and receipt of inquiry and question, in between love given and love received. Liminality, a letting go, entering into confusion, ambiguity, and disorientation. A ritual begun, pause, look back at what once was, look forward into what becomes. Identity sheds a layer, reaches into something uncomfortable to wear. In between lighting of the match and the kindling of oil, in between choosing of text and the reading of words, in between voices and notes carried through the air into ears to hear, in between creation thrusts ever forward. Social hierarchies may disassemble and structures may fall. Communities may revolt or tempt trust. Tradition may falter or creativity crashes forward. Leaders may step down or take charge. The people may choose or refuse. In between, storm predicted, the horizon beacons. In between, theology of process reminds us to step back. In between, where minutiae and galaxies intermingle with microbes and mysteries. In between, liminal, that space where we wait. Look, listen, feel, breathe. When I'm at my worst, I wonder, will it ever end? The waiting, I mean. I feel sometimes like I've been waiting all my life, waiting to be shuttled back and forth between parents, waiting to be old enough to live alone, waiting for the hard thing to end, waiting for the testing to be over and to get the results, waiting for that great job, waiting for a purpose, waiting for the water to boil, waiting for this pandemic to end. I don't think it will end the way we want it to, by the way. But waiting, waiting, waiting. There's a scene in the TV show The Good Place where Janet, a sophisticated information system and provider of any requested object in the afterlife, has come to Earth and loses her powers. At one point she says, "Oh, humans waste so much of their time waiting for things." We do. We often aren't great about it either. Sometimes we are more Gerald than Piggy. When I'm at my best, though, I still sometimes feel the dragging of waiting, but there's often more possibility in that space. As I go for a walk and wait to hit my step count, I look for the turtles sunning themselves on or near the banks of the undoubtedly people-made lake at my apartment complex. They make me smile, especially when they're all splayed out and content with their feet standing up. There's more ease in the way the time passes. My mind is not focused on the passing of time so much as it is on the enjoyment of the world around me. It wanders instead of being driven by a goal or desired outcome. It notices the details better. Attention turned toward this moment, this environment, this thing of wonder. This is one of the reasons I walk, to get my mind and body to shift how and where they're giving attention to something more fulfilling and less frustrating. I'm trying to open myself up. This is the third Sunday of Advent. Advent marks the beginning of the Christian liturgical year. It is a season of waiting, but good waiting. Well, hopefully good waiting, or maybe just hopeful waiting. We often think of Advent as a time of expectation and preparation as well. Advent and adventure share the same Latin root and speak to what will happen or what will come. We didn't celebrate Advent formally when I was growing up, but we did celebrate the coming of Christmas basically all month long. My mom used to put up tons of decorations, including the tree with all the lights and the ornaments, and I remember her playing Christmas music loudly a lot. But amidst the lights and colors and music and trimmings everywhere, there was a quiet too, almost like allowing ourselves to focus on all of that, to have all of that, created some peace as well as happiness and joy. Similar to the way that snow reflects light and has so much intensity to it, but it creates a hush too, and one that brings that bubble of perception that we have around us back into ourselves. Advent is an interesting time as it speaks to multiple narratives at once. First, the context of the season and the coming of Christmas. It is a way to invoke that feeling of the arrival of a baby, specifically Jesus. But second, it is a season that only could have begun following the birth of Jesus and following his death, which also invites Christians to practice living as much within their religious values as possible, with emphasis on welcoming the stranger, generosity of spirit and wealth, kindness, and so on. For some, this second piece is also reframed as a way to help usher in Christ's second coming, the believed return of the Savior to this broken world. It asks us to remember that Jesus came once before and called us to be better people, to be better neighbors, to be better stewards of our shared resources, and to remember that what is most important is that we hold and care for each other. Advent asks us to remember that we are still not there yet, and invites us to question what we might do about that. The Advent season, of course, culminates with the birth of Jesus. And while secular, commercialized culture uses this as a time to amp up on all things holiday and spending related, the many parties and grand dinners and other events, for the spiritual and religious, it is exactly the opposite, a time to slow down, reflect, For some, a time of fasting, of holding on to this last year gently as we look forward to new possibilities. Because of the ways it anticipates and mirrors the anticipation of a coming child, in some ways we might even think of Advent as a kind of nesting period where we clean things up, make space for the thing we're waiting for or expecting to come. Except that we are doing this internally at least as much as we might externally. We take stock in who we are and what we have, so we can decide what we can do to continue bettering ourselves and the world. I recently watched the book-turned-movie A Boy Called Christmas, and I don't want to give any spoilers. And I cannot recommend highly enough. Hard times have fallen on the kingdom where a boy named Nicholas lives. Having lost his mother, his father struggles to keep up. When the king offers a reward to whomever can bring hope back to his kingdom, his father goes, hoping himself for a better life for them. Later in the story, we see another community struggle. The response of those who are in power is to stop any celebrations or joy from happening. This is often the way we do things. We look for answers in the world around us or try to control the people and the world around us. When we feel helpless, we grasp at whatever we think we might hold on to. But with both communities, there is a resistance. There is a hope that comes from within that refuses to be dimmed or squashed. Resistance grounded in the world we live in, fed for the second community especially by music and dancing, kindness and caring, laughter and fun. Each week of Advent is meant to encourage each of these themes in turn: hope, peace, love, and joy, reflecting the progression of the Advent season. Each community's story in this movie begins with the belief that something more and better is possible and attainable. This isn't trying to manifest something the way some people suggest we might focus our intentions on wealth or whatever, that we will make it real. The season isn't so much about what our 5-year goals or other milestones are, but about learning to be present in this moment. This is being thoughtful about what we have, who we are, and how we spend our time. We cannot wait for the future to come before we start living our lives or enjoying them. Because when we are waiting, we are not present. We are distracted and preoccupied about the what will happen or the what will come or the what could happen or the what could come, more than what is happening or what is coming. When we are waiting for the future, we are not open to what is around us, within us, and among us. By attending to our lives, we are able to open our hearts and spirits as well. Advent invites us to consider, prepare for, and make space for possibilities for new births of all kinds. And it invites us to do so joyfully, to celebrate what is possible when we give ourselves to it, to help us as we practice holding multiple truths at once. The truth that life is hard for many, maybe even us, in this moment. And at the same time, that life is good for many, maybe even us in this moment. That some are struggling mightily each day, each moment, and that some are celebrating each day, each moment. It makes a difference, though, where we put our attention. If I am focused on my step count, the time moves much more slowly because my mind is focused on a future outcome, a goal. But when I am looking for turtles, watching them sunning, I am in this moment, completely present, and can be open to the delight of finding them, or something completely different. I can walk around and groan like Gerald, or I can breathe and trust that the thing that I am looking forward to will happen and be present to what is before me. Because at the heart of the Christmas story is the truth that magic and wonder are meant to be found and shared. It's not enough to be open to joy. We must also be open to receiving it and then giving it away. If you would please join me now in singing our hymn, number 226 in the gray hymnal, People Look East.
People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and think today, love the guest is on the way. Furrows be glad, the earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish, that in course the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today, love the roses on the way. Stars keep the watch when night is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. People look east and sing today, love the star is on the way.
We close the service today with these words from Jean Harrison Newyar, who has written in The Gift of Faith. In the lore of ancient China, there's a story of a philosopher who was asked, "Where is the road called hope?" He replied, "It does not exist, but as people move forward upon it, it comes into being." I invite you to continue moving forward on this path, this journey, ever widening and opening to joy, together with me. Bonnie will sing Spirit of Life, and Diana is coming up front to sign the song for us. It is hymn number 123 in the gray hymnal, if you don't already know it.
Right there so everybody can see it, the signing. Good. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the
Thank you. We will now extinguish our chalice with words by Amy Zucker Morgenstein. Never has it been more true than now. We extinguish this flame, but the sparks within us remain alight. From each of us in our supposed solitude, the signals buzz and hum, sparking through space to one another, connecting us invisibly but palpably. We are one, and from every window our light shines. Bonnie will play her prelude, and then we have the winner to announce for the new name for the newsletter, and that will be presented by Susan Fogel. I'm not sure if Judy is coming up to say anything, but okay. So Bonnie will play this part first.
For today, in honor of our new members, I wrote a little parody to Joy to the World. Not the one that's in the Methodist hymnal, but the Three Dog Night one. A shout out to all new members. We're glad you joined our church. We're happy to know this is the place you'll go. You've completed your important search. Yeah, you completed your important church search. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. You bring to us your talents. You give your treasure and time. So tell all your friends just why you joined us here in this building so sublime. Yeah, this building so sublime. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy to the world. Joy to you and me. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to you and me.
Good morning, everybody. So, Kathy Hopkins, Judy Pickett, Tammy, our administrator, and I worked on the newsletter. Actually, Tammy did all the work. And we came up with some names, and we have a winner for UUCTS Connections. And that's Dave Cutler. And this is home-baked sourdough bread, fresh today. And also, for someone who always has hope, this is for Greg Rosasco because he came up with his own name, which no one voted for. So, Dave and Greg, please don't make me go down these steps with something in my hand. With something in my hands.
Before everyone gets up and leave, if the new members would come up to the front so we could take some pictures, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, the service has concluded. Thank you all so much.